What's your name?
My name is Mustafa Akullu.
Where you from, Mustafa Akulu?
Morocco. I'm from, yeah.
We was just having a conversation off camera, man, and you was explaining it to us about the Moors of Morocco. I'd like for you to elaborate a little more on that to Black News 102.
All right. As far as Moroccan history is concerned, the Moors, we call them slaves. Slaves have always been part of Moroccan history. They played a great role in Moroccan history. They have been used to build important cities, important empire cities in Morocco, like Fez, Meknes, Marrakesh. All right. And then they were kind of there was this kind of slave trade, and also Morocco was engaged even in the triangle, in what is called in history the triangle slave trade. Like exporting, Morocco was actually engaged in exporting slaves from Africa to America.
Now you're talking about black people. These are black Moors.
That's right, yeah.
Bringing in African slaves. Wow.
Yeah, that's
so you said, but you said that the history of the Moors in Morocco, they were slaves. He's saying that the history of the Moors of Morocco were slaves, though. So
no. He said the Moors was bringing in African slaves.
No, I heard that part, but in the beginning you said that they were slaves and they built a lot of stuff, right?
Yes.
Who enslaved those people?
For example, I'll give you an example. As far as with my limited knowledge, of course, I've read that in Meknes, the Sultan, before he was called the Sultan.
Was it Moulay Ismail?
The Sultan named Moulay Ismail, yes.
Moulay Ismail.
He gathered all many slaves from sub-Saharan and the slaves in Morocco. So he gathered them and he castrated them because he had so many wives. So he was afraid that they would have a kind of, because he had what we call harem. So
was he an Arab? Was Moulay Ismail Arab that enslaved the African Moors? So he was not a Moor. He was actually an Arab that invaded the country and enslaved the Moors.
Yes,
so
right.
so the Moors actually in Morocco were the slaves.
Yes. So I mean, all right. As far as Moroccan history is concerned, we have to mention what we call Berbers. Okay.
Right.
Yes, Berbers are the natives of North Africa, all the way from Canary Islands to the borders between Libya and Siwa. Okay, and North Africa has always been an intersection of different cultures, and Berbers now, if you study the Berbers as a race, they are diverse. You have white Berbers, and you have brown Berbers, and you have black Berbers. Okay, the nomads and all that stuff. So anyway, let me just finish this. When it comes to Moulay Ismail and the building of empire cities in Morocco. So he gathered not all, but many slaves, and then he used them to build the city. If you go now to Meknes, you'll find great walls, okay? Long great walls surrounded the city is surrounded with great walls, and these walls, as far as the history is concerned, were built by the slaves that were brought in different parts of Morocco, and of course.
So what you're saying is he actually came in and used the indigenous people of those lands as slaves. Yes. So then the question I would have to ask is, you being from Morocco, the Moors that was in Spain, were those African slaves, or was those African Moors, or were those the more mixed Moors or Arabs that went up into Spain?
Okay. As far as Spain is concerned, the Moors that were there were mixed Moors, so both black and brown, and then Berbers and Arabs, so and Jews as well, because they were expelled from Spain at a certain, I guess in the, what century was that?
You say they were expelled from Spain?
Yeah, they were chased out. In the 15th century, and then but anyway. The Moroccan regimes were also engaged in this kind of slave trade and slave exercise, if you want. So that's
right. And the reason why I was asking that on Black News 102, I just wanted to know, you being from Morocco, the indigenous African Moroccans on that continent, the Africans there. Those were the ones predominantly that were enslaved by other groups coming into Morocco.
That's right.
And they enslaved the people. So this is a person from Morocco. This is a brother from Morocco coming to Black News 102 saying that the so-called African Moors in Morocco were the slaves.
Yes.
They were the ones building it as slaves by other intruders coming in and taking over the country. Am I wrong or right?
Yes, that's right. And there's also something that is important that I would like to draw your attention to. Is this Gnawa music, for example? Gnawa music. Have you ever heard of Gnawa music? Gnawa music. Basically it's a African trance music. It's an African trance music, and in which they use what we call santir. It's like a guitar, but it's purely African, and the kasinet or qarqaba, what we call qarqaba, and it's basically trance, and it is made or innovated by the slaves. So the slaves that came from sub-Saharan countries, when their masters go to sleep and when they go to rest, they gather, okay, in corners, and they start to sing and they start to play Gnawa as a kind of a cure mechanism, if you want. So that's where Gnawa music now came from. It came from this tradition. It is, the Gnawa music is really important. You need to do some research about it.
In Morocco, what is race relations like in Morocco with the fair-skinned colored people like you and the dark indigenous Africans on that land? How are they treated today in Morocco?
Today, to be honest with you, it's not like in America. We are equal. We are all equal. I have relatives that are black. Okay, I have relatives that are black, my uncles, and all right, and the people who got married from, my relatives and stuff. So we don't really have this kind of unrest between, as far as the relationship between the white. We're not white, we're brown. Between the brown or white, let's call white, and the black people in Morocco. Of course, there's this kind of what I will call exploitation as far as work is concerned, but not just the black Moroccans are subject to it. Any man or woman from lower class, they're always vulnerable to these kind of exploitations. Yeah, but to be honest with you, I have never, since my childhood up till now, I have never heard of this kind of unrest between our brothers, our Moroccan black brothers, if you want.
So you're born in, because I hear you use the term Moroccan black brothers. Do you consider yourself black or African? What do you consider yourself as a Moroccan?
I consider myself as African, Moroccan, Berber. I'm Berber. I'm not Arab. I'm the native of Morocco. Okay, so but I respect. I'm a universalist. I promote equality between nations, between people, and I hope that the whole world will gather together to make the world a better place.
Now, let me ask some last question.
Yeah.
What does the word "more" means?
Okay, more. Here you cannot. You can. You cannot kind of. It's a really complicated. It's a very complicated concept. It's a concept, and it is very complicated because you have Spanish Moors, and you have the Moors in Morocco as well, and now the Mauritanians, okay, which are part of, which are the people of.
Y'all next, don't go nowhere.
Yeah, they are.
All right, what did you say? It means black?
It means not actually. It means a slave. It means a slave. That yes.
So the word "more" means slave.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. All right. We.